Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy here, for Nerds by Nerds, hanging out with the crew.
I'm Ted.
I'm Nate.
Today we're going to be talking about our series, or doing our series, Monster BFFs. And today for you we have the Goblins. I thought you were going to tell them the page number.
Oh, sorry.
Ted says, screw you guys, just look it up.
166 out of the Monster Manual.
And I don't have a cool picture to show you, so we're going Giant Wasps on page 329 in the Monster Manual as well.
Back in the pictureless or low picture section.
So these guys, really work well together if you're doing like jungle goblins, and you could totally have the goblins, because they're small, riding the medium wasps.
Well, yeah, that was the whole idea I was thinking, is like, going with the jungle goblins and having them ride I kind of ripped the idea off a little bit, and having them ride the giant wasps. In this case, they're goblins and not halflings. Mm-hmm. But which was totally done in Dark Sun.
Right.
Verdant Passage. But I like the idea of the stingy creatures with the little annoying creatures.
Yeah, and anytime that you can give something a poison attack, and
so
thematically give it to the rider as well.
Yeah, so the idea is, right, our goblins, instead of using short swords and short bows, maybe they use spears and blowguns, and they harvest the poison from the wasps, which isn't bad. I mean, it's only a DC 11,
but it does 3d6 damage, save for half.
Yes.
So the saving for half is cool. And then the other added feature is you could totally just trounce your party with these guys, because if you fail your save and the poison brings you to 0, you're paralyzed for an hour. Even if you get healing, you're still down.
Yeah, you're still paralyzed for the hour.
You can use this as kind of a combat leading into an RP by the goblins essentially annihilating the party, and then they get captured and brought in, and then you can move on to the next segment of the game where they're as captives.
And you don't even have to fail your save. You just have to be at 0 by.
Yeah, keep taking damage. Yeah.
So that's even better for the.
So if you pass your save, but you only have 7 hit points left, then if they get you on it,
right,
then and you're brought to 0, then you're paralyzed for an hour. Even if the cleric goes, oh no, I'll heal him.
So I was thinking about this too, so that basically, looking at your XP budget for for a trio of rider and wasp, you're looking at 900 XP.
Okay. As
your budget. I don't know what that is in the DMG as far as what kind of
third level
encounter that is.
Third or fourth level encounter.
But when I'm looking at the different combinations and putting things together, you always want to.
Oh yeah, what level can you put?
Yeah, what is this going to be? How is this going to be useful in the game that we're running? Can I throw just a rider and one wasp against the party? What kind of encounter is that? At second level, what does that look like? Because when I start building my encounters and I start putting together an adventure for 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, I kind of do my XP meter. Mm-hmm. So I take the easy encounter, the medium encounter, and the hard encounter. I figure it out, and I have those numbers in front of me while I'm building the adventure.
Well, a hard encounter for first level, a deadly encounter for first level is 450 XP. So that's looking like probably 2 wasps and 2 goblins might be at that.
Yeah, it's too much for first level.
Yeah.
But one of them.
Yeah, one of them that's going to be even with the modifiers under 200 XP, right?
It's
around 200.
It's 150, and then you add 75 to that.
Okay, yeah. So that's going to bring you to a moderate, just for the one, and probably because it has a ranged. You figure if no one else has ranged attacks.
Yeah, it could definitely. But
or he gets the fighter down that has the the guy with the bow down the first shot with the poison because he failed or something. Then.
Well, yeah, he would go after him, obviously. I mean, although you're only looking at, max damage of 19. Mm-hmm. So first level, that drops pretty much any first level character, but that's a max damage.
900 XP is exactly a hard encounter for a 6th level party.
Okay. So, and that's what I like about it. It is you can, by doing these interesting combinations, you can take weaker monsters and then throw them at a higher level party. Mm-hmm. Is kind of part of the concept, making it more interesting.
That's just 3 you're saying is up the XP budget for 900 for the encounter. So I mean, do a squad of like 6 or 9, and you're looking at bumping that up to where that's hard for like a 10th level party. You figure, right?
Well, yeah, but then you see, I don't know, you get into certain things like economy of actions, right? So the monsters will have a lot more actions, so that makes them more effective.
The wasp can go and the people can go.
But even so, like, what are we looking at as far as the hit? Like, if you're looking at a 6th level party, you're talking about higher armor classes. Mm-hmm. I mean, it doesn't scale that much in 5th edition.
Well, maybe by 6th level, the fighter could buy his half plate or full plate, or get to that high armor class.
And then you're also looking at too is the fact that the giant wasps, all the animals are really easy to hit. I think goblins are around the 15 armor class.
And 6th level is the deadly fireball territory, so I mean,
yeah, you can start clearing stuff out.
Clearing a few of those guys out right out.
Yeah, I mean,
they're done.
If you go with
a goblin and wasp are not going to make it through a fireball, unless it's terrible damage.
Oh, I mean, yeah. If you look at the hit points on the goblins and the wasps, they're pathetic. And if you say, all right, 8 die 6, was that average of 28 damage? Even on a failed save, that's 14 hit points. On a pass save, it's 14.
That kills a wasp.
That's enough to take out both the goblin and a wasp. So
and that totally obliterates the goblin even if he passes, because he's only got an average of 7. Yeah, so that outright kills him.
So that goes back to the 5th edition. Like XP is as much of an art as a science.
Yes, this is true,
and that's why I don't strictly adhere to the XP budgets, because really good tactics.
Yeah, and it's a good place to start.
It is a good place to start. It gives you kind of an idea, but then it's like I'll look at things and then I assess what's in the party. Well, how much AOE do they have? What they have. If they don't use it as the DM, it's not my fault.
Right.
I've had several encounters. I have 2 Dragonborn in my party, and I go, okay, right there. There's after a short rest, they always have that available to them. Whether they use it or not. Right. Is up to them.
Yeah, if someone says there's 15 of these things, I say, all right, how many can I get with my breath weapon? It's like my first thought, not, I got to save that.
So okay, but back, away from the XP, a whole discussion unto itself, but back to the monster BFFs, goblins, giant wasps. So like I'm kind of thinking about like this jungle that's set with a backdrop of like mountains, and like they kind of lair like on the side of the mountain. That's right up against the jungle, and the wasps kind of have it hived out, and they live in a community together. So like that could be an interesting thing where the party gets captured and they have to escape the hive.
Oh, especially because they can be non-lethally captured by being paralyzed.
Yeah. The 5th edition doesn't really have a whole lot of templates, but you could totally have like some kind of queen bee and a insectoid goblin as like the king, and they actually are
you're getting in very creepy territory, Ted.
I'm just all for some thematic options.
Yeah. Now you're making goblins with giant wasps and dragon boobs.
I didn't say anything about dragon. Why are you obsessed with dragon boobs?
Because it's funny. Mainly because it's funny.
So I mean, you could have this whole interesting setup. You could have an insectoid goblin. Give him some kind of veteran template, or use the powered up goblin boss or something.
I'm not feeling that. I mean, that's fine.
I was just happy with them having a kind of
symbiotic they all live in a hive type scenario, or
they're like hippies in a commune.
Yeah, they've all got their hexagons and they hang out in them.
They all hang out and they're like, the goblins are like, if you guys were like bees, we could be eating some sweet honey.
Making some mead, even if it's goblin.
Yeah, and the wasp is kind of like all stingery. Like if you keep talking, I could just sting you. It's all good. We live together. But like I said, and I think it'd be awesome. Like the goblins keep like these these jars of wasp honey on and on their sides with maybe with some kind of skin stretched over top of it. Where they just take, they can just dip their blowgun darts in it and just unleash them on whoever.
That'd be a good way to administer that.
Yeah.
You know, maybe a piece of bone that has a little line in it or something.
Yeah,
I mean, because
something.
if someone actually gets stuck with this, you want to be able to tell them what they just got hit with. Why am I on
yeah.
the ground? Oh, I can see this thing.
Yeah, I can see the thing. It doesn't hurt very much
Sticking
when you
out
get
of
hit by
bottom.
it, but oh my god, does it burn?
Yeah.
Well, and you think about it, I don't know, like, I work outside a lot of times, so I've been stung quite a few times by different stingy things, and it is, man, you can literally feel that venom working its way through your veins.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely a very odd feeling. So something to explain to the party, and then like you could definitely do it where, like you said, you get brought before the king, and it doesn't have to be a combat encounter, or maybe the adventure is that they have to escape, and like that could lead to another adventure. Like, okay, well, if I go back into the jungle, or plains or something like that, they're just going to chase me down again, because you've just made these goblins very, very mobile and very fast. With a 50-foot movement.
50 move, and technically if the wasp isn't going to attack, it could totally do like the whole flyby thing. So it gets 100 foot of movement, and the goblin's just using his attack.
Well, that's
Yeah,
true. Yeah,
yeah.
the goblin could do the fighting, and the wasp could do their flying. And that another thing is 100 movement. How long does it take to just catch up to somebody who's just trying to book it? That's a very short chase, pretty much. You could give them a several minute head start, and you're going to chase them down.
Yeah, with
With 100 move, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing we were talking about, I mentioned, was the fact that the goblins do lose part of their special abilities. They don't get to use their bonus actions to hide or disengage.
Yeah.
So that technically is going to attribute to essentially a lower CR than what they really are, because that's built into what they have, and to be able to disengage or hide, that's going to allow for ambush. That's going to allow for them to get away and regroup.
Do you think they could hide on the giant wasp?
No. But here's
'Cause they're small and it's
This
medium.
is what I'm looking at it. I feel like it's mitigating the fact that now they're using poison.
Oh, yeah.
So
At range.
Yeah, and so one of the cool things is players always want to do this stuff anyway, but once they bring down the wasps, they can then try and get doses of poison out of them. You're big for that kind of stuff. You always want to dissect everything.
Oh, yeah. Give me that monster teeth. What does it do? The basilisk
teeth.
fangs. Give
yeah,
me that.
just don't roll a one because you're
Yeah,
still
yeah.
getting poisoned.
And then I need my
Avalanche.
mithril gloves of no stabby.
Yeah, you can be like,
Adamantine
I can
gloves.
just picture it now. You roll the natural one and be like, oh, well, you squeeze the stinger too hard and it all shoots right in your eye. Oh my god!
That's what you need your adamantium face mask and gloves for, because they protect from crits. So I'm just saying, critical failures on my poison checks. Those totally count.
I don't know
I'm
if it was quite
immune
interpreted
to
that way.
crits. Adamantium, immune to crits.
That would be a fumble, not a crit.
Well, it's a
Critical fumble.
Yeah.
Critical-
And not that that's
critical
actually in the 5th edition rules, just saying. You don't have to use those. But we like to use those.
It is more fun,
Yeah.
even if it does upset some of our players.
Yeah. So,
You weren't here for it. There was a whole conversation that went on about it. Because essentially, if you're using critical fumbles, the better you are, the more chance you have at critically fumbling.
the more more attacks, basically.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one of our players was unhappy about that particular policy. It was like, oh well, so if I get 3 attacks around, I now have three.
I have 5% chance with 3 attacks to critically fumble.
Oh, yeah. It's just a numbers game. You get a crit and you're going to fumble.
But on the other side, you can also crit.
Yeah.
Right. So, it's more interesting when players crit fumble. You got to make something fun happen.
So have we covered all the buzz on this particular subject?
I think so. I mean, it's a great combination. There's a bunch of stuff you can do with it. Yeah, I feel like it's very specific to certain locations. But there's different routes you go.
Jungle or like ancient forest.
Whether you're just trying to spice up some low-level monsters to add interesting encounters into your game, or the whole game is based around having to negotiate with the king of the goblins in order to get free, or maybe maybe it's actually how you started an adventure. You're like, okay, you're in the hive thing, and right now your best thing you could possibly do is delve deeper into the hive to where the wasps can't go, and only the goblins can, so that you can escape that way. So then you can kind of do like a whole either Dungeon Delve or Underdark Adventure or
It sounds like
Mines of Moria type
Yeah,
deal.
like let's
you
get
know?
out of here, but let's get further into danger. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, because again, like we said, if they just try and bolt, that they're just going to run them down.
It could even be, the goblins capture people and throw them into this area because they want the people to, like, as cannon fodder to deal with something that they can't deal with. So they're like, well, if we capture enough people and toss them in here, maybe they'll take care of our problem.
Yeah, it'll be happy.
Maybe they capture people and have them fight each other in a gladiator type thing.
That could be as well. So there's a lot of different reasons to use poison on someone not to kill them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Or
capture
you
them.
just want to eat them later.
Well, there's that.
That could also be a larder. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that one always rises to the top.
So now I think we thoroughly buzzed this on out of here.
Yes, I agree.
So with that, you guys can comment, like, share, subscribe. You know the deal.
You can check us out on nerdarchy.com.
You can also join the conversation over on Reddit.
So until next time,
Stay nerdy.